Have you ever wondered why you keep attracting the same type of guy? The type of guy that is inconsistent, that he is super feminine, or he's just lazy, he lacks ambition, he's not trying to lock it down, he's not committing to you, he's just enjoying himself and like he's just not giving you and making you feel like you're the only girl in the world. You know that Rihanna song? Well, in this video, I'm going to go over exactly why you keep attracting the same type of guy and what to do within yourself to change that so you can attract healthy masculine energy, so you can attract and keep your king. I am Mai Louisa, and I'm a feminine embodiment coach, and I work with many women. I help really ambitious and driven women to embody their feminine energy so they can fall in love with their body, fall in love with their life, and attract and keep their king. So of the hundreds of women that I've worked with, it all boils down to about 6 things. I can really say I distilled it into 6 things that if you implement today will change your life forever, and you will be able to attract your king. So the first thing that I see going on, and I used to do this, so I know this very well, is that we have to learn the art of receiving, and it is an art. And for us modern women, this is really challenging. So I had a client, for example, and we just did a session the other day, and she was telling me like what happened with her. And so she had a car, and she needed to use her car. She needed to drive it to go to work. And it was all, I live in New York, right? So we get a lot of snow. So there was just, her car was covered in snow. She didn't feel like shoveling it. So she called the guy that she was dating, and she asked him, could you help me, get my car out? Because I have to go to work. I have to drive to work tomorrow, and I don't feel like shoveling it. Do you mind? And he was like, sure. Now he came, if you're not from New York, he came all the way from Queens into Brooklyn, but it was like a very far distance, about 45 minutes. New York is pretty big. So he came all this way in bad weather to come and shovel her car. After he was done shoveling, this is where the teaching moment is. After he shoveled out her car, now mind you, they've been dating for a while. She was really appreciative, and she was like, thank you so much. But then what happened was she reached in her wallet and she attempted to pay him for the service that he provided. Now, many of you are thinking like, oh yeah, that makes sense because, he went out of his way. But this is the problem, because if that is a guy that you're dating, he's not looking for your money. He's not looking to be appreciated in that way. He is looking to be appreciated. But what we have to learn is we have to learn the art of receiving. So instead of trying to give him something back, instead of trying to pay him, especially if this is a guy that you really like and he does something really amazing for you, he's not looking for you to pay him. He doesn't want your money. What he wants is your appreciation. What he wants is for you to look in his eyes and say, oh my God, thank you. You saved me. Oh, I would have never been able to make it to work the next day. Thank you so much. And you look him in and like touch his arm a little bit, whatever. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for that acknowledgement. He's looking for that praise. He's looking for you seeing him and appreciating him for swooping in and being a hero for a moment. So we've been indoctrinated in masculine energy, right? And so many of us, we think that if we act the way that we want a man to act to us, then he will then value us or like us or want to be with us. So we try to give them the way that we want to be treated, but it doesn't work that way. They bring the money, you bring the honey. And that's not to say don't get your own money, but the point is that you have to be the honey. in this situation. And the honey, what is the honey? The honey all boils down to the way that you make them feel. That is the currency of your feminine energy. It is not about reaching into your, I was just online, and there was an influencer, a big influencer, had a big platform, and she was talking about like how, if a guy buys the movie ticket, she's gonna buy the popcorn. If a guy does this, she's gonna do that, because that's king treatment. King treatment does not have anything to do with you reaching in your wallet and paying for shit. I'm sorry, it does not. It has everything to do with how you make them feel. And we forget that because we live in such, capitalist, tangible things. We need to touch it, we need to feel it, we need to make it a product and sell it. But feminine energy is intangible, but it's so powerful. You feel it when you walk into a room. You feel it. You can shift the entire energy of the room just from being in your feminine energy and not having to say or do anything. That's how powerful it is. So when you bring the honey, that makes him move towards you, because it is an art to receiving. So just even think about our anatomy, right? The feminine anatomy is designed to receive. The masculine is designed to give, is to push forward, is to push his energy out there. So if you're pushing and he's pushing, then it's just butting heads. But if he's pushing his energy out and you are like soft earth to receive the energy, that's what makes it work, because he's able to then move towards you. But if you are pushing and he's pushing, it's just going to be combative. And that's why the art of receiving is so powerful. It's being able to receive the gift, being able to receive whatever he wants, not whatever he wants, but be able to receive the gifts and the support. So we are driven, right? We are such driven modern women. We know how to do everything ourselves. In fact, we know how to do it better than most. And the problem is, because we're so smart, because we're so capable, because we've been living this way of like doing it ourselves, killing it, that that function then spills over into every aspect of our life. But when it spills over into romance is where it gets tripped up. Because in romance, you have to soften and take all of that masculine energy, channel it into your career, channel it into different aspects of your life. But when it comes to your romantic life, that is where you become the feminine. That's where you become the one who can receive, the one who can be led, the one who can submit. And when we think of submission, we think of like, oh, like it's being weak and it's being incapable and it's being like pointless or useless. Submission is power. Submission takes power to be able to perform it, because you're being conscious about it. You're not just being like, letting go, but you're consciously trusting in another's leadership. And that is super powerful and it's super juicy. So I really hope you understand the power of these words right now, because it will transform. So that's tip number one, the art of receiving, learning how to receive, learn how to receive a compliment, learn how to receive support. When he wants to give, are you open to receiving, or are you blocked, or do you have blockages? So that's something really to consider, because healthy masculine energy wants to give to you. They want to lead you. They want to support you. They want to care for you. Masculine falls in love by caring for you. He falls in love by supporting you. Think of like a guy with like when they love cars. Why do they love those fancy cars? They take care of the car. They show the car off. They're washing the car. They're tuning her up. They're tweaking the engine. They're making sure she's shiny. It's the same thing. They want to like care for you. They're moving towards you. They're caring. That's that juice, that's the sauce, that's that polarity. So if you don't allow that receiving, you're gonna be buddies, you're gonna be really good friends, but you're not gonna have that spark and that juice, and that is what you want. Okay, that's what's gonna keep him moving towards you. That was number one. So the second thing is, and I touched on this a little bit already, but is that remember that you are a woman, you bring the honey. So we've been indoctrinated to think that, or really that we've been caught in a culture where we just have so much masculine energy, and that's how we know how to love. And that's how we know how to do life, because we've gone through school, we've gone through, programming and religion and all of this stuff that makes us only to be in one aspect of ourselves, which is our masculine energy. So we think if we're not doing, if we're not performing, if we're not producing, if we're not, somehow creating something, then we're useless. But the reality is that when you are in the feminine energy, when you are embodied in the divine feminine, your whole essence and your embodiment is the richness. You're just by being you, that energy that you emanate, that self-love that you emanate out into the world, that shifts worlds. It creates worlds too, but it shifts worlds. And so we oftentimes, like, for example, if you are really, really like high level successful woman, which you probably are if you're watching this, and you know that like to get through school, you had to put in this many hours to get the A in your school, in your test, in your exam. You know that in your business, you have to put in so much work, and then you get the result of you get higher revenue. So you know that when I push and I give and I do these things, I will get the result. What we do is we transfer that and we assemble that into our love life. And we think, okay, well, if I work really hard on the relationship and I do all these things and I do the most and I show him, right? I show him what love is and how to love. Like I'll send him flowers. I'll make a date. I'll plan the vacation. I'll do all the things to make it work, because that's what worked in school and that's what worked in your career. When it comes to romance, that's where you actually mess everything up. That's where everything goes wrong. Because when it comes to romance, that's not your job. That masculine energy is for him. And so if he doesn't have a space to express that, if he's not experiencing himself as a leader, if he's not experiencing his masculine energy, several things are going to happen. What might happen is he might keep you, string you along, see what he can get from you, but not really be moving towards you and not trying to commit to you because you're doing the most. And so what you're doing is you're actually activating his feminine side. And then over time, he will resent you because he won't be activated. He won't be ambitious. He won't be striving. He won't be pushing himself because you're doing everything for him, and it's kind of like suppressing such an important part of him. What can also happen is that he'll find someone else to care for. He'll find someone else to be their hero and Superman. And if he's a good guy, it will be his family. And if he's not a good guy, it will be another woman. So you want to be able to be soft enough and be vulnerable, which is so hard. I'm not saying that it's easy, but it's necessary, because in that vulnerability, in that openness, in that ability to surrender, you are activating on a primal level a very, very important part of him, an important part for you too. Be able to really bask in your feminine energy is such a gift. It's so luscious and luxurious, and actually really, really healthy for your body to be in your feminine essence. It also activates, a really balance for your hormones as well. And so I teach different activations and different embodiments in my course that really, really flood your body with all of the feminine hormones daily, because it's so essential. It's so good for your body. So back to this idea of like, what else can happen? So if he doesn't have the real space to express his masculine energy while he's with you in the relationship, he can also get addicted to porn. This is when we see those guys who are really, really addicted to video games. Like yeah. Like they have the headset and they have like 3 different screens and they're just on the video games all day. You're a grown man. I'll tell you what's going on. You probably just don't feel like a man in your relationship. And you have to get those hits of testosterone. You have to get those hits of those feelings, those good hormones, and then taking those hits and getting those hits from the video games. But I'm telling you, if he was in a juicy relationship with a woman who is expressing her femininity, and when he's with her, he experiences himself as like a masculine man, as a leader, as the one who's pulling the relationship forward, as the one who she looks up to, as the one that she admires and she's inspired by him, he won't be playing video games, okay? He'll be doing other things, okay? So it's important to know these things because you have the power. You have the power to shift everything. You have the power to literally birth your world. You are a woman. And so the entire world, the entire planet is birthed from underneath your navel. That area underneath your navel, that second chakra, the Svadhisthana chakra, that's where you birth your world. And so through doing these different shifts in your energy, you're going to see that you attract different energy towards you. Or if you are already in a relationship and you start to shift your energy, you have the ability to inspire his masculine. You have the ability to shift the relationship just by you healing and by you growing in your feminine energy. So if you are married, that it's okay. You have the power. It'll take time. But if he's a good guy and if you guys are meant to grow together, then trust me, it's all worth it. So another thing that I see what happens with my clients, and it's probably happening with you, is that feminine energy is the energy of being present. It's the energy of being in the moment. And many of us, we're such leaders, and that's a really good thing. I think that women make the greatest leaders, honestly, because of many reasons, but we lead in our lives. If you're a parent, you know that you're a leader. And in your job, you're definitely leading people. You're definitely, you might be a manager, you might be running teams or whatever. You're a leader in your life. When it comes to your relationship, it doesn't mean that you're not leading, but it means that you have to take moments when you can be led. So if you're on a salsa dance floor and you're dancing salsa, be honest with me. Are you able to allow the man to lead you? It's hard. Maybe if you're Latina, it's like, okay, I already know how to do that. But it can be hard for everybody because we know how to do things. We know how to do things really, really well, and we're multitaskers. So we can be even more efficient. So it's like, come on, hurry up. Let's just do it my way. No, you're inspiring him to be lazy. You're inspiring him to be more like a child. And so what you want to do is you want to have moments where you just, whatever you want, babe, you got it. I know you can do it. I trust you. You want to be able to be led. And so I used to choreograph dances for couples who were getting married, and I would choreograph their first dance together. And time after time after time, The woman, always the woman, could not be led. She would be like cursing at her fiance, you're messing up, and you know, all the things. And I would tell her, like, look, you're in this beautiful gown. Everyone's gonna be watching you. When it comes to that dance, surrender. Just be led. Just trust and let go. Because if you're trying to lead him and you're in a wedding dress, it's gonna look crazy. So relax. Like, he'll work on it, but you know, it's so feminine energy is the energy of being present. Okay, it's being present in the moment. It is like if you're walking down the street and it's Christmas time and you see all the lights, you're gonna notice the lights, you're gonna comment on the lights, or the smell of the hot cocoa or the snow and how it's so amazing. Like, notice things in the magic in the moment. And so that is the feminine. The feminine is present. She's in the moment. And that's what pulls him out of his head, because masculine energy is super analytical, it's forward thinking, it's constantly like in their head. And that's why if you have the ability to sit before the masculine, if you have the ability to be on a date and you can pull him out of his head and into the present moment, it is like a drug, and he will become addicted to you because you are able to allow him to relax, allow him to be in the moment. And that does take a strong nervous system, right? Like, you do have to work and tone your nervous system as well. But it is about being present in the moment and not constantly thinking about, well, what should we do and where should we go? And I think we should do here. And like always thinking about the future, and always, can you be in the moment? And so that's why I say that feminine energy is really it's a call to ascend. It's a call of ascension, because in order to be present, in order to be in the present moment, you have to heal. So that's why feminine energy is a call to ascension, because if you're easily triggered, if like every little thing makes you snap off and pop off, that is very, very dense energy. It's wounded energy, and that will continue to happen. You'll continue to like be in the present moment, and then you experience, maybe the guy says something and makes you think about something else and someone else and takes you to another place, and then you get an attitude. And what you'll do is you either fight, so you'll pick an argument, or you'll get up and leave. So if you have a pattern of those things, that is a trauma response. And so it's important that you work through that, talking therapy or whatever the modality is. But notice your triggers. Like, instead of blaming the other person, well, I didn't like the way he looked at her, or I didn't like this about him, or I didn't like that. Well, okay, that's fine. You have the ability to not like, but can you sit with it? Can you sit with the feelings that came up? Can you really sit with that and notice, is it really that person? Or are you thinking about something else? Or are you predicting that the past is going to repeat itself because something bad happened before and you're assuming that it's going to happen again? So when you're able to like sit and process your triggers through therapy, through journaling, through different healing modalities, and more you're working through your triggers, and more you're noticing patterns, or you're noticing like, hey, you know what? I was triggered there because my dad used to do that. Or I was triggered there because my ex used to do that. So that you're not taking all the emotional baggage and all of your drama with you to this present moment, and with you to this future that you have with your king. You want to be able to process these things and really, really hold up that divine mirror, so you see like who you are. You see what triggers you, because knowing your triggers is super powerful, because then you're able to heal. So then you're able to stay more in the present moment. And when you're able to stay more in the present moment, it is more enjoyable for you. Your whole life will be more enjoyable, first of all. But it's also like It's very healing for your relationship because you don't want to just be triggered all the time and spewing out venom that you haven't processed from the past. So that is number three, is to be present, to be in the moment. Work through your triggers so that you're not fighting and flighting and all the things. Okay. The tip number 4 is my personal favorite. So this is really juicy. Okay, I don't want you to overlook this because this is the one that I tell everyone to do. And some people do and some people don't. And the people who do, they're the ones that are, I'm going to their baby showers and their weddings and stuff. So it's called Move Your Body, Love Your Body. And essentially, you want to get into a practice where you're moving your body in such a way that you love your body. So this can be Tai Chi, this can be yoga, this can be belly dancing, this can be whatever it is that you can move in a way. Maybe it's Pilates, but it's a way that you're moving your body where you're out of your head. So you're not like thinking about anything, but you're really feeling and emoting through your body. And that's different for all of us. Some people that might be weight training. For some people, I just want you to be completely in your body. Like you're not in your head at all. And what this does is it creates more of a connection to your body. So while you're in your body, you feel this real connection, this wisdom of your body is just emanating out. And so what this does is it also it just increases your well-being. Like it makes you feel amazing. It increases your confidence. It's a confidence that is unshakable. You know when a dancer is walking and it's just like it's like a gazelle, it's like they're just so they're just so dropped into their body. When you do that, when you are dropped into your body, you do have this vitality about you. You do have this energy about you. You do have this uplifted presence. And so it not only enhances your quality of life, but it also is deeply, deeply feminine. And is deeply, deeply hypnotic for the masculine because the feminine is everything from the neck down. The feminine is the body. I think it was William Shakespeare said women speak 2 languages and only one of them is spoken. So the body is a language. And when you know how to speak that language thoroughly, fluently, it's hypnotic. And what that also does is it creates very positive connections and positively reinforces your confidence with your body, because ultimately you want to be confident when the lights are on and you're butt naked, no makeup. You want to still love your body without any makeup, without anything, because that's the juice, that's the sauce, that is ultimate confidence, is loving the body that you're in and loving your flaws too. So through these practices, through doing, even if it's just 1 time a week, you will learn and have these really positive memories and positive reinforcements of a mind-body connection, and that will boost your confidence. It will make you stand out, and when you're butt naked, you will just be loving your body. So even when you're bathed, right, and you're putting on your lotion, say some affirmations over your body. Speak lovingly over your body, because your body, she takes you everywhere you want to go. She does so much for you. She brings you your deepest pleasure. So love your body. And by loving your body, you just become that's true enchantment. And it's not something that you can fake. It's not. I know, I like makeup and I like clothes, But ultimately, when you're married, you're not going to be wearing makeup all the time, and you're definitely not going to be wearing clothes all the time. So it's important that you learn to love your butt naked body, that you learn to appreciate your flaws, that you love your flaws too. Because that confidence, that real, true confidence, is so sexy and dynamic. And it doesn't even matter because you don't have to have a perfect body. I want these young girls who are listening to this, because I grew up without the internet, you know, I'm in my 40s. But there's some young girls listening to this where you grew up with the internet. And so you grew up constantly being fed these images of people who, you know, have these botched bodies or have like a lot of plastic surgery and have like a lot of work done. And so you're bombarded with these images and constantly. And I'm not saying that plastic surgery is bad, but my point is that there's people who spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on their body and they still get cheated on, because confidence doesn't come from the outside, it comes from the inside. It's the inner work. Because then there's some people who don't have any, and honey, let me tell you, and they're not perfect, but they're confident. They're confident in their flaws. And baby, that is sexy, okay? So take note. All right. Take care of your inner world and flourish. So this is really, really important, because everything about the world today is very much on the outside, is very much on the exterior. And so what makes the feminine so, makes you like move towards her, what makes you like, as a feminine essence being, what makes you magnetic and makes you like draw in everything that you want, how it comes to you, is by being magnetic, but it's by flourishing in your inner world. So that means, yes, being present. That means taking care of your mental health. That means self-care. So it means that like when you are, before you get into a relationship and while you're in a relationship, you want to have a strong self-care practice where you're caring for your body, your mind, and your spirit. Every single day, you're doing things to nourish your mind. You're doing things to release your stress, so that inside of you is like a strong sense of calm. It's kind of like a palace where it's just serene and it's calm. And yes, life be lifing, and we do have stressful moments, but if you have these rituals in place, you have things in place to really flourish on the inner world, then no matter what happens on the outer world, you're still going to thrive, and you're still going to have a strong sense of centeredness and calm. And that, my dear, is deeply feminine. To be scattered and running around and really, really fast and really, really chaotic is an aspect of feminine energy, but it's not the feminine energy that you want to embody to bring that healthy alpha masculine towards you. We have our moments, yes, but I want you to really think about this centeredness and think about how powerful that is, being the eye of the storm. So it's about flourishing from the inside, because I have clients who are gorgeous. I have clients who have like spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on their body, on their clothes, on all of these things, and they still don't feel worthy. And they're making a lot of money in their career and they still don't feel worthy. So that sense of worthiness, it comes from an inner place. It comes from caring for yourself and caring for your inner world. And so when you put those practices in place, it might be a meditation and a prayer in the morning. It's you're connecting to the divine. It's like you're tapping into source. It's like as if you're a cell phone. We're all phones. And you have to plug your battery in. Well, your battery is source, it's divine, it's your connection to the creator or the higher being, it's your connection to God. And so you want to have those connection moments every single day. And you can start small, 5 minutes, and then build from there. but you want to have moments where you connect with the divine so that you feel a sense of power and a sense of support from the divine. So that helps you to build your inner palace. It helps you to be centered. It helps you to be calm. And when you're calm and you have this centeredness and this sense of connection, that's how you draw things to you. That's how you draw in opportunities. That's how you draw in love, because it's kind of like if you think about a river, right? And the river is really rapid, and it's like all these, the water is moving really, really fast, and and the moon is shining on the river. Well, you're not really going to see the reflection of the moon because it's like the water is choppy. It's all over the place. And so think about the moon when it's shining over a very calm lake. Well, if it's shining over a very calm lake, then you're able to see the reflection of the moon in the water because the water is calm. Well, the moon represents your beauty and the beauty of your soul. And so when you have this serenity from within, then your inner beauty is able to shine. But if you're chaotic and choppy and all over the place, your inner beauty we're not able to see it as well. So that's that importance of just your inner palace. And the last one, okay. This is juicy too. All of them are juicy. So the last one is about your creativity and your passion. So I know that this is all about how to attract your king and bring your king towards you, but you have to have a life that's popping. You have to have a life that you love. You create that from birthing your world. You create that from birthing the life that you want. And that comes to your creativity and your passion. We all have it. And so that could be different for different people. For some of us in this season of life, your creative energy is birthing babies, and that's pretty much maybe your main focus right now, because when you have babies, it's a lot. It's like all my energy is going to like birthing these babies and raising them and feeding them and all the things. But no matter what, we all have a passion. We all have something that makes us tingle. We all have something that just lights us up. And we might think, oh, I can't pursue it because it doesn't make me money, or I shouldn't pursue it as I don't have time. You absolutely need to pursue it. You need to pursue and do your passion, because that passion is like your creativity. You have creativity, you have a creative center underneath your navel. And when you channel your energy into your creativity and into your passion, it lights you up. It makes you younger. It makes you filled with fuel and passion and juiciness. But if your creativity is just going to things that don't light you up, or it's just going to a job that's sucking your soul, or it's just going to a man and not to anything else, that might be a lot of energy for him. And this happens all the time, especially with younger girls, is that you get a man and you fall in love, and then he becomes your world. You lose yourself in the relationship because you love him so much. And this even happens with grown women, and we try to not do this, but it happens where he becomes your world. He becomes your everything. But think about how much energy that is. It's a lot. And so he's feeling that, but if all of your energy, your creativity, your passion is just going to the man, he can feel that, and it can feel like a lot, and so it's like this. Here's you and here's him, and you're pushing that energy on him. He's gonna then move away, but it's just repelling because it's too much. But when your life is popping and you have this passion, or you have something that you're pursuing, you have something else going on, that softens that. it's like, yes, I'm moving towards you, but I also have this thing. I also have other things that light me up. I also have other things that I care deeply about. I also have, maybe you love painting, maybe you love dancing, maybe you love creating or writing or whatever it is. Even if it's not making you money right now, as I know we're in a very materialistic people, but it is currency because it's giving to your life force energy. It's fueling your passion, it's fueling your creativity, it's giving you life, it's giving you vitality, it's giving you so much. So pursue it. If you're into sculpture, whatever it is, do your thing and create time for that in your life, and that will make your relationship even more juicy, because he'll be like, wow, he will feel like the lesson of the energy moving up on him, and then he'll be moving towards you even more. So it's not only beneficial just to you, but it's beneficial to your relationship. It helps you to balance out so that your passion is now being fueled into something that's growing. It's being fueled into something that lighting you up. And then you also have your relationship too, and your passion is going there. So it helps it to be channeled in different ways, so it dissipates, so that it grows and it's not pushing away. So I hope that this video helped you in some way, and I hope that you take all of the tips, that you write them down, that you apply them, and that it changes your life for the better forever. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace and love.